I legit be vibing out to our intro music. I don't know if y'all know that, but I'm always vibing out like intro and outro. I love it. I ain't gonna lie. It's that doom doom doom. All right. Anyway, sorry. It gets me every time. As if I don't hear it every week. Sorry, y'all. Don't worry about me because I can appreciate the little things. I think I've said that to y'all enough, but I'm gonna keep reminding y'all of that. I digress. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome and welcome back to another episode of the B Mix right here on BExposedRadio.com. You already know what Thursday nights at 8 p.m. are for. Side note, sorry about being a little tardy this evening. It was my fault, y'all. I don't know what happened, but TMI, because y'all know I'm queen of TMI. I had the BGs. I don't know what happened, but it just, watch out. We had to take care of some business. Moving on. It's what y'all like to say, taken care of. Y'all do know it's taken, okay? For my people, it's taken. It's not taken, okay? I just want to give you that. Okay, moving on. Y'all already know what Thursday nights at 8 p.m. are for. Okay, it's for the me, the unseen, the unheard, the forgotten, the misunderstood, the judged, the misjudged, the misinterpreted, whether it be the forgotten part of you, the overlooked, overlooked, all of that in between, or for the person that just doesn't belong anywhere, the me. So welcome again and welcome back. Whew, that was a mouthful. Y'all don't understand how many times I've joked to myself today and said that I was just gonna sit here and stare at the camera the whole time. I ain't gonna lie. But while I was on my porcelain, I was able to get my thoughts together, even though there is some revelation that came to me earlier, and I legit had to ask for forgiveness, like from God, because I know He gave that to me earlier. It hit me real good. And I didn't write it down, and I had time to write it down earlier, okay? I did not, and guess what? Now I don't have it for y'all today. So while I was on my porcelain, my thinking chair, I had to, I was able to get some notes together, and I actually want to share my thoughts this week, which is usually what I do. Look at me. I'm all playing with stuff. That's my thing to clean my glasses. All right, y'all, I'm sorry. I digress. Excuse me. What am I doing? Just sitting here fumbling with the thing. Because I folded it. Okay, I got to finish my whole thought. Because if y'all don't know by now, my thoughts, I'm full of thoughts at all times. So what happened is, because y'all will judge me, and it's okay. Because I can take it. Remember I said that. I'm going to come back to that. But I don't know. I laid it, and it was perfect. But then I went to fold it again, and then that's when the crease messed up, and it bothered me. So I'm not saying that I have a self-diagnosis of OCD or anything, but if anybody that knows me, there's a little something in there. Am I the only person, side note, because every time I think about it, am I the only person that folds my plastic bags? Okay, it doesn't matter, whatever. I really do though, because it's a thing. For those of you, I think this is not judgment, okay? I say that I mean this with love, but it's really from a place of misunderstanding, okay? So while I understand being misunderstood, okay, I overstand that, amen? I also misunderstand some things about this world. And for you people that just stuff your bags all together and y'all put it up under your sink and then it's wet from your pipes because you need your pipes. Ew, fold them. First of all, that's your first problem. Like, I can't talk about the pipes things. I don't understand none of that. But fold your plastic bags. That's it. I got that out. I completely worked through that whole thought. I digress now for real this time. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on up in this world? Y'all know I'm finna make sure I repost this show here, because guess what I didn't even do? I didn't even post no promo, and I had one. While I was on the porcelain, I was finna give y'all something. I had one, but I think what I do is sometimes I save things on social media, and I've been doing it for a very long time. I truly believe, again, I'm gonna come back to this, that God will prepare you well in advance. So when they talk about that He'll give you a snippet a little sample of what's to come, or more so a warning. And warning doesn't necessarily always mean like horrible things are coming. It probably means just a change, a shift. Okay. And come on, we're going somewhere today. And so I feel like he has been preparing me to utilize my voice. And if you are a longtime listener or a longtime viewer of the B Mix, when I started off, right, last July, we coming up on a year, y'all. Keep running through my mind. Okay, almost 52 weeks. Anyway, I digress. When I started off back in last July, that I talked about that this show and this platform was finally time for me to unmute. And while folks that know of me, and I have to say that, and even though those that might even relate to those that believe that they know me, but I feel like there's so many levels and layers of me that I think that for those even that are closest to me, it's probably somewhat semi-impossible because there's so many layers of myself that I'm still learning, honestly, every day. And I like it that way. I appreciate that about myself. I can say that. Not that I would have probably chosen it that way. Honestly, if Benia could choose, I would have just been away. And then whoever knew me would just know me of that way. And that's who I am. That's how, but I am ever evolving for sure. So the things that I share with all of you about, how God is changing and evolving us and how it's important. So it's kind of like, I'm imagining some visual. Y'all gotta, if you've never been on the phone with me, just bear with my visuals, okay? My analogies sometimes that don't fit, but they work for me because they make sense to me. And I've definitely, a long time ago, come to the conclusion that a lot of things that make sense to me do not make sense to the world, and it's totally okay. While on the contrary, I totally understand, like I'm very understanding and understand a lot of things that the masses usually don't understand. It's crazy. Hold on. And so while I'm thinking about with the example of, or speaking, or the concept of, ever evolving and God like changing everything around us and changing us within, like there's this, I don't know, now I just thought about a McDonald's story, but I don't know if everybody's seen that. But anyway, so there's like this, you're in this globe-like thing, like this clear globe. And so that's moving. And so all you have to do is to be able to get your handprint like on the globe, like to match your handprint where it is once it gets to a space, and get there. And so you have to actually, stretch forth your arms to try to find this imprint and keep making those tries and attempts until you finally, it'll happen eventually, right? It'll rotate enough and you'll catch it. Or what is it? You shoot the wings off the fly type thing. Like you'll eventually get there. And so all of that being said is that it's so important to, not necessarily to take hold of the reins, but it's definitely important as a believer, right? It is so important to take, not necessarily control, but to become an active participant, right? And I'll use that phrase again with something else that I want to share with you guys, but to become an active participant in the change and the evolution of your own life. Like your path has already been set. And the beautiful thing about God is that whether you believe him or not, you're still his child. So, if it's Allah you pray to, okay. If it's Buddha, if it's, one of the many Hindu God, like, okay, baby, okay, whatever you so choose, because religion is man-made anyway. So it's not a problem. Because you're still God's child. Like literally, no matter what you think a child of God looks like, speaks like, acts like, we're all his anyway. So the tatted up ones, the cussers, the murderers, all of those in between, you know what I mean? The ones that could or probably have, committed some of the worst crimes and afflictions that you could possibly think of are still his children. That's the thing. And so the continuous test of life is not to pass judgment. Where am I going with this? I don't know, but it's something that's really going on all of a sudden. It has nothing to do with the notes that I ripped down. Ooh, Lord, that I wrote down while I was on the thinking porcelain. But it's so important for us to tie it into, I guess, and to transition into those things. That is so important for us to, like I've talked about before, like to make positive contributions to society and all of that. But that's using ourselves, availing ourselves as these empty vessels in order to do, God's work, which is this everyday life, this everyday work, the work that life entails right now. People need to see, tangible, people, like human flesh that looks like them, speaks like them, acts like them, in a sense, in order to make that connection. We are that bridge, as believers, and those of us that are, called and chosen, we're that bridge between the non-believer and Christ. Like that, that's just it. And so it is for me to live a life that that matters, that reflects that belief, and so that goes into, well, actually, okay, I'm gonna try to jump into this because I know what I really meant to do was first things first, business was share with you all out of my calendar. I should just always have it on this page, right? But I always close it because I'm trying to take good care of it. I know I showed a CLS, but I gotta show you again. Just hope it's not too much of a reflection. Just, oh Lord, out of this world. What I didn't do, this is why I wanted to show you the picture again, because I wanted to read not my phone calling, the ghetto. And he knows that I'm doing my show. And why she gonna send me a message? Oh, I'm sorry, Nia. I know it's Thursday. You doing your show. My bad. Hi, Daddy. Just in case you're catching the show. Hey, Dad. So the caption to that, and bless his heart too, because he might also be thinking so many different things. He could also be thinking that he's calling into the show right now by calling me on Facebook Messenger. Bless him. And it's funny because he's calling on his birthday, 8/18. Lord have mercy. Okay. So the caption to the photo that I just showed you, again, the calendar is Equal Justice Initiative, and it is a history of racial injustice, the 2021 calendar. And so again, this image is the Transatlantic Slave Trade exhibit at the EJI Legacy Pavilion. Features sculptures by Kwame Akoto Bamfo in remembrance of more than 12 million African men, women, and children who were kidnapped and sold into slavery in the Americas. That's by Brian G. Stevenson. So I was about to say our scripture reading, Lord have mercy, help me. So on April 15th in 1896, this week, the U.S. Supreme Court hears arguments in Plessy versus Ferguson. Its decision on May 18th adopts separate but equal doctrine to uphold Southern segregation laws and practices. This has been your flashback to Black history. Again, a history of racial injustice in your great states of America. United, they say. Okay. So, as we were saying, I never shared the show, y'all. Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me just. Whew. Okay. So there was that. Well, when I say, and it's crazy because did I not tell y'all that I'm sure I said this last week. If not, I know I've said it before that opposition will arise when you are trying to do something good. When you're trying to do something good. I have written this recently. I'm pretty sure it's in me getting a lot of Sydney. What did mommy ask? Okay, because I know the internet went out. Can you just play and let me finish my show, please? You have your Raya sword. You now have your Raya outfit on. Can you please go back upstairs and just play with your toys until I get you? Can you please go back upstairs and play with your toys? Thank you. So yes, we just had a glimpse, and I don't know what happened. I guess the internet flashed out for a second. It's really weird. Crazy part is that I have recently called Xfinity. And it actually just dawned on me that I'm supposed, like, they didn't fix anything. They didn't do a thing. I'm supposed to go all the way to a store and swap out my modem or something because it's 2 years old. It's 2 years. Anyway, so forgive me, y'all. That was on me. That my internet just went out, and then I'm either now connected to.
Did they tell you that?
Like, legit told me that. Yes.
I've had my modem for 5 years, and no one
that's what
said anything to me about that.
Do you understand me? So I'm like, and y'all know I'm not techie, so I hate it. I just need cars and technology just to do what they're supposed to do for me. Because,
as I said, if it ain't broke, why are you fixing it? Oh, well.
Like, legit, like, I don't understand. And when I say we've been experiencing like issues with our internet for a little bit now, like definitely the worst as of like recently. Just all a little pleasant. And oh yeah, you probably just want it. Okay, so you're not going to, so I know because I told you that I went ahead and unplugged it and put it back in and whatever. And so you're not even going to try to check. Okay, Xfinity, thank you. So yes, that is what's going on. So when that just happened, I was like, watch that's what that was. Plus, y'all know believers, y'all know we're going to say it's the enemy trying to put their hand out now. So my opposition going to come up when I'm trying to share something good now. And I'm not going to lose my train of thought either. No, technically it didn't derail, but I'm going to bring it back. So I was saying earlier, though, that, it's like when we take hand in and contribute to just the common good, just the mission as we as Black people, let's take a moment. Let's just breathe for a second. I think that we all need it. I think it's one of those, you ever been at like a family get together, a family gathering or something, and there's an elephant in the room. Could be a small one, a large one, but an elephant nonetheless. And so it either is because of the occasion that everyone's gathering, or the significance of the elephant in the room that, for whatever reason, this particular thing, for the family, that no one wants to address it. So it could be the cousin Faith, you know what I mean? Like, it could be that just nobody wants to say, like, oh, there she goes, she's back, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of what's going on with us now, right? Y'all, I don't even, it's not that I don't want to give it any respect. And, it's not that it's not that I don't want to specify and speak directly to, unfortunate circumstances that we are facing and faced with as a community right now. But we're all, for the most part, privy to what is happening. Our most recent homicide, murder, where even if you're not up to date on all the happenings of the Chauvin, trial, things are happening. They're still happening. We're still being mistreated as people in the United States of America. And so I feel like though, and this is just my angle, that it seems like while there are some people that are talking about it, about just these like current happenings, it doesn't. It's just it's different. It seems like less of it's. I think it's coming from a place of us being probably tired or like holding your breath or kind of like I mean it could be lost hope. I'm not necessarily sure what it is, but it feels like it's just not what's talked about as much. And it's not in a positive light, like I don't hear a lot of people talking about Trump, right? But that's because, thank God, he about that office, right? So we're not forced to say his name as much as we had in the past, while there, things of course always involving him. But that's on a positive side of not necessarily having to mention someone's name. But right now it's a place where I feel like as a people, and y'all know I'm a feeler, I can't help it, I'm a modern day hippie, and I know it's COVID, but in my mind all of us literally just need to sit in a big old circle, just us, just for right now, and get us together. And then we can reach out, to our other colored brothers and sisters, right? And just hold hands and literally count to 3. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Like you ever somebody either just give you a hug or an embrace, or if you ever lock eyes, that's when somebody's like, look, I know say if you at a funeral or something, right? At a situation where there's just a lot of anxiety going on, a lot of feelings and emotions are high, and thoughts and things like that. Unfortunately, y'all know, unfortunately, I'll always say unfortunately to this, that there is some truth in the fact that for, us colored families, that funerals will bring out, some of the spats, and quarrels, but you ever just have all of that going on and somebody knows, like for me, I would definitely use me, for example, that sometimes it's like, hey, I'm a hugger, by the way, keep this in mind. So I'll say like, no, don't hug me. I'll break. Like I am holding strong. I am together right now. And I need to stay together in order just to, get through these next steps or days or whatever the case may be. But somebody that knows you well will just lock eyes with you and just cue you, like I've done for many people. Hey, okay, just get it out, right? And so the next time you just drive past I don't know, just cue somebody, you see they're heightened for whatever reason, just cue them just to breathe. I think we need, while it may not be a full exhale, okay, Black people, we are still waiting to exhale, not just because it's a great movie, but because it's what we deserve as a people. But we can definitely take some breaths because we need them. And hopefully that'll, I don't know, one day lead to this great exhale that we truly need and deserve as a community. But I think that I just don't have it in me, y'all. I'll be honest. I almost watched the body cam. I almost did. I want justice for all of them, and I'm just taking a moment now because it's just on my mind. And I haven't really expressed like myself. I haven't really even processed for myself. And while I'm the person that'll feel like well, that's that's not a very close relative, so I feel like I can't hurt as much as his and their families hurt, but it is a thing. We have to just, it's publicized, it's in our faces, it's talked about, it's devalued by the others, by our oppressors still. And so it's a thing, it's a stake that they dangle in our faces over and over and over again. So at some point we do a bit of it, a portion of it we deserve as individuals that may not be as closely related to these different, unfortunate events within our community. We still deserve some time to just process. And I don't know. I don't know what we do from here. I don't know where we go from here, all I do know is that we have to keep going, though. I'm not very clear um, of the next steps, I'll be very honest. We have to maintain hope, though. And so even when just to tie it back into, because that was really like just a full tangent. But I felt like I had to process it. So even if it didn't need to be said or heard by you guys, I needed to just get that out. And so to tie it into what I was talking about earlier, though, is that like in being making positive contributions just to the community and, for the overall mission and the work at hand, it's not funny and not crazy, but funny and crazy of like this week alone of just some words of encouragement and some things and messages and signs and wonders, I feel like, that have met me, right? Whereas I truly believe that, God will meet you. And we often say like in your valley place. So think of valleys, very, very, very low, even at the mountaintop. And we understand that you could be in a valley and be, at peace and, be joyful and be pleasant. You could be at the mountaintop and, be mean and bitter. So wherever he's meeting you, it's a great thing, right? Because it shows that we need him at all, at any place of our lives. And so when he meets us, this is why I push for us to work on us so much as individuals and to strengthen our spirit, man, because what if you miss the message? You miss you miss the plate, you miss God, you miss the move, you miss the shift, you miss, your opportunity to make that leap of faith, you miss it. What if you miss it, right? And it's important, so very important to work on self, because that's the point that you're trying to avoid and prevent yourself from missing, even if it is like a small sign, it's still a sign from a higher being, if that's how you have to see it, if that's what you have to call it. It's God, but it's okay. That's baby step you in. But, if that's the case, that, you can possibly miss it, you want to do the work so much, even when it feels like you're doing it in vain, even when you feel like you're being kind, no one else is being kind to you if that's what it feels like. But I can guarantee you that if you shift your mindset and get to a place of even when you have to force yourself, but still finding some positive out of, excuse me, y'all, everything. I was about to like burp and call. I don't know what just happened. But like there is something in everything. I'll be very honest. And even if it's forcing yourself, like the positive could not necessarily be in your current stuff. But it could very well be, in seeing, a way through your current stuff to, and the positive part being after that, right? So it's finding the positive that came out of your current stuff. And while I am working through all of these different analogies and scenarios, by all means, feel free to call or text us at 443-642-9403. Again, 443-642-9403. Oh, hey, Sean. Wherever we are, he is there, which is totally, totally true. And that brings me back to, so how about this morning, right? This morning, so I call into my church's prayer line every Monday through Friday, right? Every morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. And so sometimes I'm assigned to pray. And was I assigned? Yeah, I was assigned this morning. But also, so there are, individuals that are assigned to pray for 10 minutes each. And then the last 10 minutes is actually, what was I going to say? I was about to say dedicated, but it is the spiritual vitamin, right? So nice little nugget, little piece of word of encouragement to, just to start off your day, right? And so This morning, spiritual vitamin like just shouted to me because it was all, in my stuff, the stuff that I'm always, talking about, and that I, live to talk through, which is like, the mental, right? The mental being, the mental health, really, because it talked about, being empathetic, right? So empathy, and of course, in my mind, I took it further to kindness and compassion, um, and so even tying into what I was talking about earlier, and then even to Sean's comment, where saying wherever we are, he is there. Then it's if our homework or our directive, or assignment, as believers, is to pass on his good word, right? And pass and share the great gospel, then it literally not always be verbal. You may not be able to, say the right thing. There are many of times, in me having the gift of gab, right? Me being, naturally an encouraging person, usually a spirit lifter, at least I just try to be, and it's just really just who I am. So I just embrace who I am. I don't know what lock is trying to stick out here, but that, just being a good person unto others is doing God's work, just being kind, showing and having compassion for one another. If there is a blessing in being, remember I said earlier about active participant, there's a blessing in being an active participant, right? In a positive interaction. There is, I guarantee you there's a blessing in that. And if anything, it just feels good. So have you ever been in a situation where someone either, it could have been younger, or in a certain part of your life, right? Maybe it wasn't younger for some people, but that, someone had to urge you or kind of push you a little more, to want to volunteer or to give back, right? And I know apparently everybody is just all into it now, but at some point in your life, it was like, yeah, it's a homeless shelter, right? And so, and you're trying to figure out like, well, what am I going to get out of it? Like, okay, I'm gonna scoop them mashed potatoes on the Thanksgiving plate, but what's in it for me? I want to go home and open my Christmas gifts. I don't understand. But it's something about like whoever that person was that got you to do that, right? To participate in this, activity of giving back, that they probably could not necessarily verbalize, like the benefit, just say, they probably said things like, oh, you'll just feel better. You'll feel good about yourself. Girl, feel good. I'm gonna go and play with these toys. I'm gonna put these dresses on. It's Christmas. I don't understand. But then there's that feeling that you get afterward. There is that, I don't know, that enjoyment, that refreshing feeling of having done something for someone that they may not have necessarily been able to do themselves. Or even if they could, you just did not make that your business. You just did something nice for someone. Why is that such an isolated feeling? Why do we look to, I don't know, I'm just talking, I told you I'm sharing my thoughts today. That like, why do we, make it our business to isolate these feelings? Like, oh yeah, when I go do this, when in all actuality, all of your interactions can be pleasant. It can be. Whoa, right? So even when don't y'all shoot me and don't y'all get me cut off the air now, but because that already happened today, okay, with my Wi-Fi. Praise be unto God that it is restored. Amen. But it could even be when these warranty people are calling. I get it. It's annoying to you, but guess what? This is the way I think about it. And I am really just here to show y'all how I think on a regular basis, like on a daily basis. And usually for the most part, if I really get to like pulling out, y'all really hear me like on a conversation. So I need to get conversations going on here a little more. But because things will come to me and I just think differently about things. But truthfully, like I think about it, that is just someone doing that job, no matter if they have a heavy accent, they calling from somewhere else. Now, if they're scammers, okay. As far as I know, somebody correct me, I don't believe it's the fact that, someone can like scan your card while you're talking to them on the phone. And I'm not saying you have to have a full blown conversation, but I do answer. Have they called me a few times where it's like, hello. But truthfully, that's only the times where it might have been like a call and hang up or something. And hello, like, what happened? Like, I don't understand. But I answer pleasantly. And I've shared with you before that, it has turned into one, like literally turned, and it wasn't a scam, but she turned into like, she's a friend of mine now, like literally like the sweet girl, like life insurance policies, like amazing. Like she just was knowledgeable and it just was a happenstance. I think she had to follow up over something that I might have applied to or submitted or requested more information on online. And then like, it's just a beautiful girl. And so shout out to Mina. Hey, Mina girl. But yeah, like I just it's just pleasant because literally that's always the feedback that I get. Like, you are just so pleasant. Thank you so much for being so pleasant. Is there like an ultimate, like a payout that, have they sent me a check for being pleasant over the phone? No. And that's okay because I'm not looking for it. It's okay, right? In a world that, yes, while a lot of things are ran by money, I get it. In a world where, status matters. That's just not the payout that I'm looking for, that I'm seeking for just being a good person. I just enjoy being a good person. I know I've said this before to you all that I enjoy being a good person so much so that even for the people that have wronged me, it's like, well, it ain't nothing. And I struggle with that. And some time ago, don't get me wrong, I struggle with that about like revenge, quote unquote, right? Of like feeling like, like say if I dated someone and it's like, we just open, they just get to go live their life. So they just happy, huh? Mind you, it's a front. It's still a front, but go ahead. But it's not, I made sure it just after a while I worked through it, so it just wasn't my business. Like, that's not my business. It's okay. Because I would try to figure out like, well, Lord, I know you're gonna get them, but can I be around to see it? Like, can I look through the blinds? Like, but now no, for what? I just care to continue on to be a good person because good will come back to me if there are times that it takes a little longer for it to get there. So it didn't been rerouted. Okay. It didn't happen to lift and then I didn't took the bus or something. It happens, but okay. Right. Because here's your B tip of the week. Okay. Bring back humanity. That's it. Plain and simple. I'm gonna preach that until the day I close my eyes for good. Bring back humanity, please. And even in a world, that's gonna make me sweaty-eyed later on. I feel it. Like even surrounded, by living within a society, dwelling within environments and, living within a world that absolutely lacks humanity in every sense of the word, it's okay. It's okay for you to practice it. It's okay. Humanity is okay. It's totally okay to be nice to another human, no matter what they look like. And while, yes, I don't know if anybody that's been clocking me like, wait a minute, you always talking about black, black. I am. Love, black, right? But I love God's people. Okay? Like I love people. I'm a people lover. Now you might have caught me sometimes being frustrated, like, oh, I can't stand people, but that's all of my love, right? It's because I'm tolerating them at the moment, but I like to get right back to the point of loving on. Like that's all I want to do is just love on. And it doesn't mean, catch this, it does not mean that I am so far removed from reality. Very well aware, promise. But see how that's my choice to still practice humanity, just still to be, empathetic. That's what in the world's biggest empath, right? So I'm even empathetic for folks that may not be empathetic and find it hard to be empathetic. And so just try it. If we try it, y'all, I know next week I'll probably get into really, because it's been scratching up the surface of like, I think I just got to give a course on minding your business, because eventually just practicing empathy will get us to a place of just not concerning ourselves. There's that thing again where I said about like care versus concern. Oh, I didn't flip my head. Care versus concern, not concerning yourself and boggling your head and minds and hearts and spirits down so much that you can't just care for one another, that you can't just be nice for someone and not care so much. Like, here's the thing. I am a carer. I care about people. Okay. The thing is, though, I don't concern myself with your stuff. I don't need to know your stuff to lift you in prayer. I don't need to know your stuff to be happy for. Like, it's soon, literally, there are so many posts. I was gonna say posters. Ooh, Lord, I'm taught. There's so many posts and all that. I'll look and see. As soon as I say congratulate, okay, yay, love it. Like, I'm just happy for people. World's biggest cheerleader. Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Because you have to want peace for yourself so much that you do not, seek out, other information of, about others that just doesn't even matter. I don't ask people's business. Here I am. Now, I told y'all before, here I am that people just tell me their stuff, and that's fine because that's their choice. But even for people that I'm close to, like, I will, like, hey, and literally it could be like in a conversation where I'm asking because I want to check on them. So if they've confided in me about something and here's the next time I've talked to them, or they've crossed my mind and I want to reach out, but I'm like, I don't want to seem like I'm in your business, but I just want to check on, so I'll say just that. That is the thing. It goes back to the basics of communication. You can just communicate. That's a good way to bring back humanity, to revitalize, humanity. Communication. We talk about it all the time. Oh, every relationship. Oh, communication. Oh, whoa, communication. When we finna try it, it's easy. And here I am that I'm surrounded by people surrounded by some of the worst communicators in America, in the world, in the universe, in the galaxy, under all of the heavens. Like, but I still continue to communicate as much as I can. I'm over communicative. I can't really help it. I'd rather be known for, like, the girls who will tell you all, she'll get it all out there. And not one of those, like, I'm volunteering it because I'm hiding something. Like, no, because then just ask me for some follow-up if you need to know something else. I understand. And so with that, right? So, well, let me read these comments before I go on, because it was a good transition. But Sean also said, always taking a self-check can be a help. Check if we direct it to, I think, the one who helps us through anything. And so, yeah, so that talks about, like, what we always preach about here, which is self-reflection. I don't know what else to say after self-reflection. That's it. Self-reflection. And then if you struggle with self-reflection, you take it to God. Easy, simple. You just go on and just give it to him. Like, Lord, listen, I'm trying to figure some things out for myself. I ain't figured them out yet. I heard somewhere in the Bible and somewhere at church and all that, they didn't say that you'll figure it out for me. So yeah, can you get to that? Like, thank you. That's probably on, like, the base level where you're, like, your entry level into God, and then you grow and mature and matriculate to having some a bit more eloquent prayers to God and talks with Him. And then they'll get better. But I mean, listen, when that's what He means. Let's clear this up right now. You know how y'all love to quote, and yes, I say y'all. Y'all loves the quote. He said, "Come as I am," and that's usually when you're joking about, like, I might wear my stripper outfit in there. That's not what he's talking about. That's not what he's saying usually. That's not really it. I just want to be clear about that. He's really talking about your spirit and your mind and your appearance spiritually. It's on me pretty heavily. I'll probably really prepare this word to share at some point, but it's like screaming at me that He will, such a perfect God, will accept my ugly soul, my soul, spirit. But the souls belong to Him, but my spirit had been through the ringer. Okay, spirit had been beat up, shot at, like stabbed a couple times. Like, my spirit is ugly. Okay, you hear me? I mean ugly. Okay, like, my spirit, ugly. And here He is, just come on, put it in my hand. Come on, give me that little ugly spirit. Put it on up in here, baby. I know. Stay. You just want to take it. That's such a like it just speaks to me. It's just like you just want to take me. That's an ugly crowd worthy. Like, oh Lord, you just gonna take this ugly spirit of mine, right? So I'll read another comment. Sean says there is a benefit in participating in stuff that benefits others, for it brings reward to us as well. And he said, well, there goes the umpteenth confirmation. Period. So I'm glad you received some confirmation today. To God be all the glory for that. Because again, he'll speak to us. He will speak to us. And so that's definitely a good segue into what I was going to share. Also wanted to share with you all that I receive a word daily from one of the pastors at my church, and I really appreciate it. Like, we have to get out of, this is just a side note, we have to get out of feeling like, words of encouragement or this, that, and the third, like it's supposed to come from a different way. And it should be shorter. It should be this. It shouldn't be as much. First world problems. Oh, avail yourself. That means you have yourself available, right? I find no problem in, taking the few minutes that it takes out of my day, an entire day, to read, to work. I guess technically, if it's a text message, like it could be lengthy as a text message, but so what? Like, it's still a word. I believe a word from God, because I truly believe that God speaks directly to her and through her. And I mean, like in plain words, and to be honest, and not to put her out there, but I love the fact that the reality sets in that there could be some grammatical errors, maybe spelling error, like, so it's a human person that is delivering word from God. Got it. Thank you. So I don't get tied up on that. In church, it sounds like I'm probably picking on us a little bit today, but we get, I've been raised in church and all that. So you might go to church, or there's a visiting preacher or something, and they say something, or there's somebody within our church and they get up and mispronounce, or okay, I'm not hung up on it. I don't lose the word. I tell you that. My eyes still on the prize that I know God is speaking. And if anything, I take it as in everything. That's why I say my faith is so wildly crazy, because that then I just take it as like, God, that was a test for me to realize, to figure out, like, am I paying attention? Am I, focused on the word, or am I focused on the messenger? Am I focused on the message or the messenger? Which one? My focus should always be on the message, and appreciate the messenger, no matter what they look like, where they came from, what didn't happen, all of that, right? That's why y'all didn't have these discrepancies with your Kirk Franklins and your Jamal Bryants and your this and your that, and your Creflo Dollar. Sure, hey, that's for God to figure out and deal with. Okay, now that ain't my place and my problem. It's not my place to judge. Not my problem and burden to bear. That's theirs and the Lord's. That's it. That's where I'm leaving it. Lord, go on, do what you fit to do with them. Okay. That's it. That's it. Stay out of my message. Listen, Sean, I can't listen. I don't know what else to do. So with the words though, so how about check this week alone, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now Thursday. Beware of your thoughts. These are just the subject titles. Beware of your thoughts was Monday. Take the next step was Tuesday. No more excuses was Wednesday. Today was overcome discouragement. Child, at this point, tomorrow better be girl, like screaming at me, talking to me, like, come on, Lord, let me tell y'all how else he's talking to me. Okay, boom. So I'm gonna jump down to this and go back. So then even, first of all, shout out to my daughter, because she definitely will sing the jingle to Darlene and Nightly Spirit on what's that? Is that 106.1? Yeah, I think so. I don't remember. You'll be on the station. And so, child, like we would listen to her like on the way, and I had to go run and get her from grandma's and bring her home. Because shout out to my day real quick. I just had a good little, a day. I had a hair appointment first thing this morning, because the original was scheduled like for tomorrow, but we needed to move it to accommodate my baby. She can have whatever she wants. Okay. Shout out to Jade Monique. Okay. Always on the hair. Y'all see this fresh scalp? Y'all welcome. And length on locks. Like, all right, I ain't going. I've been shaking it all day. All right, moving on. But thanks, Sean. Excellent perspective. Thank you. but so like hair appointment, and then I had spoken with my trainer. He wanted to meet up like this afternoon, so they gave me a little gap, maybe like 2, maybe 3 hours. And so I knew I wanted to pick up like some dresses, like picking up dresses for like taking my oldest goddaughters to church with me every Sunday. So like keeping them in dresses and getting like correct undergarments and shoes for them and all. And so like I stopped by a store just to look at their, shout out to Savers. I ain't about to say a store. Listen, mama is getting into thrifting. Okay. Got 2 teenage girls that I got to dress for church. Lord help me. So I'm trying to just build up, a wardrobe enough to where we can start like swapping out and repeating dresses. But now for now, it's building up that. And so I like what I found for them. So did that. And then I went over like to the Burlingtons. I'm still trying to find undergarments. I didn't find all of it there. I went into the shoppers, grabbed me a little lunch because I knew it was about an hour out when I was going to train. Still trying to figure out why I have a headache across my shoulders. Yes, my shoulders. And then I went back to the Savers because there was a slip that I saw for myself with my dress. Anyway, and then I called. My mother said that the kids were napping at like 4:30, 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I came home. I was supposed to take a nap. I did not, and child just taught. And then literally an hour, just about an hour before my show, my mother calls and says that she's ready for me to come pick up my daughter. So just making the best of everything. And so with that being said, so we were listening to Darlene the Nightly Spirit, and the topic for tonight was at the time, she said, ask for people to call in to talk about if they've lost their job before or during the pandemic and what was the blessing out of it. When I say go talking, because remember I told y'all, what I say? I gave y'all something talking about work and stuff. Now I don't have nothing else right now besides the fact that I'm just, still on PTO for the rest of the month. But I've gotten to work. I'll tell you that. I've definitely gotten to work, and I have more work to do and need to really finish out the remainder of this month strong. So yeah, get to work. Get to work. I'm getting there with all of this. That's going to segue into this last part that I wanted to share with y'all of just different, like I said, I would say perspectives, but just words of encouragement for myself and my stuff and my situation, because it is not a coincidence. It's no coincidence that I have, seen all of these and, certain things when you log on, and I get it. They're talking about the algorithms and this and the third, and just to sway you, everything. I need y'all to understand this. Everything is spiritual. Okay. So much so that just like we in our human minds or in our carnal minds and our flesh will see, which is still true. Don't get me wrong. I'm not invalidating, that we'll see like, y'all's Americas, right? Y'all government, we'll see like, oh, they're distracting us. What they got us talking about this month, when really this is happening type thing. Right. And that's like an earthly, example of what's really happening spiritually. Right. So I even think of it as, and I told y'all, I like wild, crazy faith, and that's just okay with me to have that tag and title. But, when we talk about algorithms and all of that, I believe that it's a way of like the enemy, right? And so, satanic and demonic spirits like to be able to distract us, to make us feel like, oh, it's only certain when certain reason, why would this come up in this and the third? Rather, if you go back to what I was talking about earlier, when you choose to see the positive side of everything, is that even when they talk so heavily, and now I'm seeing more and more about, algorithms and this and like this, so that way it'll circulate around, there's still a reason why I see the certain things that I do. There are prayers that I see, words of encouragement that I see on my timeline. And especially over the past few days, I've been getting into like some really good writing, like a really good flow of writing, because I am going to finish this book. I'm going to finish this book and then the sequel as well, right behind it. Like I have my plan. I'm going to do it. Side note, just a pat on my own back that my children's book is with the formatter right now. Like we moving, because I sat on that. The manuscript has been written for that book alone. But these 2 books, like my life story, yeah, we get these done. Okay, we just gonna stop them. And I'm saying out loud to be held accountable. So check back with me by the end of this month. Give me 15 days, okay? 2 weeks, at least one, because I've been almost done the first one for a long time. And I feel like if I finally get that done, it's escape, right? And so I'm really getting there though. Like I've said it before, I said this before that right now I'm in a place of really getting the difference between saying and seeing. So I've said many times before that I'm almost done this book in my, first installment of my life story, just to get all the bad out, just everything. Oh Lord, it's been through it. Oh, and then the sequel is to talk about all the good within the bad. So I had to mention that now from what I'm talking about today, right? And so, I've been saying that for a while, like, oh, I just have a few sections left. I've said that for a good while now, and have been sitting on it. But now I actually see the light at the end of the tunnel. I see, and I still have to do the work. That's the thing. That's the part of just connecting, that part of just me actually producing, right? Because I'm a feeler and I have to, feel inspired and this and that. But then just get it done, baby. Okay. If you got to shorten some pieces, but of course I don't want to, kind of shorten myself. It's my book, so I get to say as much about something that I want to say, yada, yada, yada. And it's very tasteful. I believe that it's tasteful, but still, paints a vivid enough story for each, situation. But yeah, we gonna get this done. We gonna get this up out of here. But with that being said, so when I even hear like when she was asking about like lost job before or during the pandemic and the blessing out of it, like I was telling y'all, like I've talked to y'all about work and like what's going on. Like, okay, like Lord, I know whether it sounds crazy to other people or not, and I'm totally okay with that because of my crazy faith. That there's been like God has really been stirring up in my spirit, and baby, when you connect it, you just connect it and you feel it. And so that's why I'm proud to be a feeler. So in my spirit has been a shift that's being cooked up and stirred up. And then a leap of faith that I've been, that's been preparing me for, right? That he has been preparing me for. And so I just didn't know it's been going on for so long that I just didn't know what area in life, like a leap of faith. I don't, and mind you, this is coming from different words. So if I might hop on social media, that's what I was going at earlier, where I was going with that earlier is that when taking breaks, from writing, I might hop on social media, kind of check in here and there, yada, yada, yada. And so I would see things that are just like, boom, that pokes out to boom, where I've said before that, say if I was in a relationship where I was dating or entertaining someone, right? And so usually like at the breakup part of it, or just like when there's, some turmoil or whatever. And literally I would hop on social media. I know this has happened to somebody before. Like hop on social media and everything that I'm saying, I mean, back to back are posts that are so relevant. Like he ain't, and you need to go on and this and that, like just going on. It's like, oh, wow. Okay. And so that goes back to he will meet you where you are. I kid you not, y'all. I will never let anyone believe anything else about the fact that, so the current house that I live in right now, I literally found on Facebook Marketplace. Okay. Found on Facebook Marketplace, not just because, it's on there and all that people, have houses listed and yada, yada, yada. And that's in my opinion, a good way, but also because I have been, and I've said this before, that if they ever had a commercial, I should do their commercial. Like I have always advocated for Facebook Marketplace once I came, to know it. And it's been some years now, because I think I first got on it when I was like pregnant with my daughter. And so I was riding all around Maryland, buying little $5, $7 things here for my baby, just cute little things. Because I'm going to say this once, and I mean once. The folk that got much lighter skin than ours, that just ain't colored in, baby, they will throw away some good stuff. New, like, oh, I just had it, like stuff that's just crazy. Either way. And so like that kind of got me into like, okay, there's a marketplace. Because my thing is, while I may not necessarily mind like a hand, something but I don't really want that. Like I want something brand new, unused, untouched for a real good price. And not just because, oh yeah, because somebody coughed all on it. It got to COVID, but here's this new lamp. Like I don't mean that. Right. So about Facebook Marketplace right now, I get it. But apparently it's still moving. Things are still happening on there. But that's at your discretion. Okay. But yeah, so like, so where I was, and I can share y'all the story of just me getting into this house and like why I had to get out of my last apartment or my apartment before this and yada yada. But I mean, God really met me where I was. And it was because obviously I had to have done enough work at that moment to align myself to a place where I caught, the message. I didn't, look at it like, I've said this also I've said this before, that I'm the world's biggest skeptic. Okay. So initially, if you leave it up to Benia, and I'm a spirit, but Benia, I'm gonna be like, I don't know about all that. So on Facebook with a house, okay. And when I say it was such a God thing, this was a God thing. Okay. And so it will meet you where you are, and provide for you right where you can find it and where you're looking for him. I believed so much, to even think one day to be like, oh, just look for Facebook Marketplace, look for a house, whatever. And then given, if you ask me, it was out of desperation. But in all actuality, it's my spirit, it was out of faith. Come on. All right, I'm just okay. So with all of that being said, of me just making sense of all these different like words and how I keep when Sean talked about like confirmation and things like that, like it comes to us. You have to work on self so much for you not to miss it, for you to be able to catch it and to grab hold of it and grab a hold of it tightly, and not to let it slip through your fingers. And why before I have, or not why, but how before I've asked the question of, what do you do when, what was once your answered prayer now becomes your burden, right? Okay, that's the process. So that must mean that, it's something for you to release. And I'm talking out loud for Benia right now because I asked God to talk through me tonight because I didn't know where I was going. Like it must be a preparation for release, right? You might be pulled into isolation, but it's all for elevation. And that shout out to my bishop. He definitely said that. And that thing been just cooking in my mind ever since. Like isolation for elevation. That is good. Like, have you ever felt like, and mind you, I always open the show up talking about those of us that feel, unheard and unseen and forgotten and muted and, just misunderstood, all of that, right? Could it really be just that you have been hidden, that we have been hidden and hidden by the Most High, not just hidden, not just dug a hole in the ground and, kind of kicked in there from, the naysayers and your mom and them and, baby mamas, baby daddies and husbands and wives and ex-husbands and ex-wives and, all of those brothers and sisters and church folk and co-workers, colleagues, managers, supervisors, like anyone that you have children, I don't know, whoever you have ever had a quarrel with, strangers, whatever, right? It's someone that you thought was positive and all, like wherever you felt kicked to the side. I'm not talking about that type of, that's not hidden. Okay, I'm talking about hidden by God that will literally put you under his wings. And baby, I got you here. I get it. All you had to do was come to me and tell me that you don't understand nothing that's going on around you. That's all I needed. So I'm going to be very clear in my total belief that it is okay to take questions to God. I don't know why and where at some point in life, I think there are churches or different sermons and words that say, like, you don't question God. That's where we started shifting. That's where we started shifting into the new millennium, right? Of really, put it plain ministry. I know it's always going to be my thing, right? And so really, kicking it to people straight about what God really wants us to do in everything and all things that we do, even when we are unkind and when we decide to be kind. In that decision to be, that is still a godly decision that needs to be made. And so if it's a godly decision, which way should you lean toward? The better side. Okay, just saying, like, girl, this girl cut me off now. I should flip of this bird, but okay. Okay. Prime example. I was driving. I probably told you this already. I don't remember. I was driving. This was a while ago, definitely before the COVID. Let's say before the COVID. I'm pretty sure. But yes, it was before the COVID because I was taking my daughter to the doctors. And baby, because y'all know we did not go to no 2020. It did not happen. We recently went, and I had explained to them, y'all know why we wasn't up in here, right? Okay, then y'all lucky. Y'all lucky we up in here today. Anyway, so I'm driving, and literally what happens is, and it's when I say it's the story of my life, wait till I read my book, that the enemy is trying to talk and speak in my mind to discourage me and deter me from even like finishing this, God assignment of my book, right? To share my story. Because if Benia reads it, I'm like, oh, I'm just complaining, and they going to read it as, oh, everything happened to me, woe is me. But that, like, truthfully, that's just really what a lot of scenarios that were meant to kill me and meant to deter me and meant to destroy, my spirit, or discourage my spirit and destroy my couldn't touch my purpose, but destroy, my momentum, right? To get things done for the kingdom and, for the common good, for the greater good. My positive contribution, right? To the mission, moving it forward. And like all of these things that happen, it really happened to be a lot of like, things that happened unto me. Like, and I'm not a victim. Like it's hard for me to be like, that happened to me. Oh my goodness. Like, to victimize myself, but there are definitely some things that I've, been a victim of. And so, and mistreatment for one is just a constant one. And so it just keeps coming back around. And so while one way it might be, and why it's so good to align yourself, because while you may hear out here that, if it keeps coming back to you, it's a test, you haven't gotten that yet, but some things will keep coming to you because it's like, okay, we're trying to break like spirit again, because everything is spiritual, right? So the devil's trying to break you, right? Trying to break that spirit because he knows he can't touch your purpose, because that's from God. Like he can't touch that. So you're kind of okay, baby. If whatever you're struggling with right now, just tell yourself that you're okay. Faith it until you make it. Okay. So anyway, so I'm driving, and so I'm telling you, I'm just driving straight. I'm coming off of the underpass, right? Like when you take, was it Mulberry up, so Franklin down? I don't know. I get confused. And so, coming off of that, I'm about to turn onto MLK. So all those lanes merge. And this girl, she just didn't pay no mind to me. So I can't remember if I had to maneuver around her or if she just finally saw me and like moved out the way. That's it. She gets this woman, she has her daughter in the front seat, in the passenger seat. So she's on my left. And she's, and this and that, and just going off. When I tell you, this is literally my face went, literally, that is me to her while she is giving me, and this and that, and you damn mom. Guess what? We pulled up to the exact same destination. We did. So I'm getting my daughter out of the car. I hope you going in there to save somebody's life the way you was driving and da. So yeah, my daughter's actually, because I think she was like 6, so it was like a follow-up conversation. I just went on inside. Now, while I want to give this disclaimer, I'm not basking in this at all, but it is to make a point that as far as I know, like she goes in there, I don't think it was like an emergency for her or anything. So that's why I definitely would not bask in that, but still. So, and I'm not hearing it. Or when I say I hear nothing, because I'm good at minding my business. It doesn't matter if you just lay your stuff out in front of me. I still choose to mind my business until you make it my business. Like, you know what I mean? So it was never made my business. So I minded my business, but you could not help but overhear out of all the conversations she had with the person that you check in with, that it was like, oh no, your insurance is, out or something, like you can't just pop up in here. Is there something? And so she had to leave. And it was like, and all I could think about was just that, like, I hope that I was the better example in our interaction in the cars to her beautiful daughter. She had this younger daughter in the back seat, and then the older one that was in the front seat that was there hearing her mother say all these things and looking at me just like swear, biggest smile on my face. It was crazy. And it's a blessing in just choosing to be a good person, because why am I going to cut? Now my daughter would hear me cuss you out and this and the third and try to get my problem is that my problem in the past is that I've tried and attempted to speak rationally to people who are being irrational or displaying irrational behavior. And so, no, why would I do that? Why would I do that? I just want to show these her daughters are beautiful. This beautiful Black girls, just oh God. And so no, like I'll take it. Like, okay. That's just like I know I've said this before that I speak because I want us to just speak to bring back humanity. I speak, and I'm so used to people not speaking back, and I don't get offended. Again, sometimes I will say, like, or not, like, hello, no one speaks, oh, or not. And I get, hi, no, it's okay. Like, no worries. It's okay. And it's not phony, but have I gotten a charge of being phony? Why, yes, I have. And so, out of all of that, right, the last bit that I wanted to share is that there is, I don't want to say a segment, but a snippet. That's what I'm looking for. A snippet of a word from TD Jakes recently, and I saw it right when I was, like I said, I was on my porcelain, my thinking porcelain, and I wanted to share. So big pieces that stuck out are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for this? You sure? Give me a drum roll, please. Okay, sorry. You are bigger than the life you are living. You are bigger than the life you're living. Wherever you see yourself now, there's more for you to come. So if you feel like you're stuck in a situation or a scenario, there is better on the other side of it. What I cannot tell you is how long it's going to take for you to get there. I think truthfully, it depends on you. I think it depends on your choice to be more positive, to only see and hone in rather. Excuse me, it's not COVID. Sorry. What just happened? Well, that wasn't like a real cough if y'all really listen to coughs. Okay, moving on. It's really a dry mouth, I think. Anyway, but yeah, that if you choose to hone in on the positive versus anything else, I think that could possibly help, speed up or help show God that you're ready to embrace what it is that He has for you that's coming. It's coming. There's more. There's more for you. Just hold on, baby. There's better. There's a better life after COVID. Can you imagine? Please don't tell me that any of you are out here stuck in the world of COVID. I don't honestly, and I'm saying this, I don't even care if you have experience or if you are currently experiencing COVID. And this is even for those of us that have lost loved ones to COVID-19 or during this pandemic, to other, or in at all, ever. Like, I don't care what phase of grief you find yourself. There is more. There's more life to come, more life to live for you. Does that mean that you bask in the fact that you have lost your loved one? It does make a difference of if you are a believer, that you believe where they are, and especially if you know that they weren't a believer, right? If your loved one was, that helps. It's definitely a dry cough. Sorry, y'all. Ooh, I had to push that one out. Definitely a dry throat. I don't feel like getting all the way up and getting water and all that and get through that. Whew. But yeah, there's more. Sorry about that. There's more. There's more. It's coming. The fact that God saw fit to give us a word to tell us that we're bigger than the life that we're living currently. Some of us, but let's not get it twisted, because I don't want to leave out those of us that some people had great 2020s. I'm one of them. My 2020 was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I cannot lie to you. While there are things I probably would have chosen to change, did I say choosing or chosen? Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm tired. Like, for real. I ran down my whole day, so I'm tired and still got a headache across my shoulders. Not to mention, I talked to my little sister and she's turning 21 this year. My God. So we had to talk about 21 birthday. Ew. Okay. Sorry. Because I was about to get sweaty eyed all over again about it. So yeah. That He took time, to remind us and to let us know and to encourage us that we're bigger than the life that we're living right now. So even for those of us that, like I said, are, pretty okay, pretty well, or even great right now, that guess what? There's still more for it to come. So as a reminder that don't get stuck there. Just because life is good right now, you know how, the oldens and all that would love to say, oh, it could change. Sure, yes, it could be, but just know that there's even more. So it means that once you get to what you feel like is a good life, your faith should not stop then either. It should not be like, oh, well, I'm good now. Woo, no. Within that's my continued prayer. Like, Lord, let me, prepare me to receive and handle, well, what it is that you're bringing. But yeah, like, don't let me, like, keep me humble and don't let me stop. Like, don't, because if you are just going to continue to elevate me, like, there are definitely plenty of times I've got a place like, okay, this is good living, all right. That's like, there's more. Okay, Jesus, I see you. You are bigger than the light. I was gonna say they are bigger. You are bigger than the life that you are currently living. Also, now you touched on some things, y'all. We can follow up with this next week. You're bigger than the people that you're laying with. Now, I'll help you out. You can choose to take that figuratively and or literally. Who are we out here laying with? I'm just gonna pause for a second. I ain't in your business. Just saying. We know this. We're all born with a purpose. All born with a purpose. Sometimes it hurts. Yeah. It hurts. It hurts. But guess what? These are good, right? These are good. Bishop Jake's definitely. And this was in a very short snippet. It's like a minute 34 second snippet. Sometimes it hurts, and that's okay. It's the growing pains. We're going through them, getting through it. It's okay. It hurts to lose a loved one. It does. Could that be an ultimate test of, how we're going to continue to push, toward God and not to pull away from him? You decide to pull away from him, I guarantee your life will be harder. Guarantee it. Live through it. Definitely harder than it would be. And it doesn't mean that things don't come. So again, sometimes it hurts, even being born with a purpose, or born for a purpose rather. But the guess what part is, all that aside, or really not aside, all that in mind, it's time to step into your destiny. It's just time. And I'm saying that all out for me. That's what screamed to me. It's just time. All these other things that I've shared with you tonight, all of these other things that, all these other messages and words of encouragement and all and signs and wonders, and we can get deeper into them of how they, really served a purpose in my life. Well, maybe I'll rather report back, like when they manifest, like it's like my manifestation is trying to just get out. It's like, let me out. All right, can you please just unlock the door, write the book, do what you need to do so you can have everything you're crying to God about. Your husband will come as soon as you finish writing your book. You will be distracted, Benia. I'm talking aloud to me now, y'all. I would be distracted all up under my husband, loving all on him and stuff, making our babies. I don't know. It's coming, but I have to do this. I have to do this in order for God to release that. I'm looking for God to release me from my current assignments. And it's more work, yes, but he'll reward me for the work that I'm going to do, right? So I'm looking for him to release me from my current assignments, i.e. work. Because there's no coincidence that I am no longer interested in working for anyone else, ever. Again, if I can help it. It took a long time to get Benia here. It's been a journey. But going more into what Bishop T.D. Jakes said was, it's time to step into your destiny, to step into your legacy. Come on, started talking to me good. your dynasty. Oh my. Okay. Just saying. Like, and he ended it all, like he got into an example in the Bible, and he ended it all with what God has for you is for you. That's it. That's it. Just yes. That's not how you ask Sydney. Okay, get whatever you like, Sydney. I just need literally 5 more minutes if you don't. Just come on, Sean, say that again. We are bigger than the life we are living. That's it. It's a good reminder to have. It's a good message to keep, deep within your heart, to keep at the, front, in your frontal lobe of your brain, like to keep it on the tips of your fingers, to keep it, at the root of your feet, like to keep you moving and to keep you going. Like, man, I'm bigger than all of this. Like, there's more for me. And then immediately after, you think like, so what is it I have to do to get that then? If there's more for me, again, if you think that you're living well now, and you just might be, but do not get stuck. Do not get stuck. And I have been here, y'all. Y'all know I'm gonna keep reminding y'all, I don't talk from any place that I don't feel like I have some experience in, okay? And God didn't use my life for a lot of experience, okay? Don't get stuck in a self-made mess. Y'all, we got to get to a point where you really mature, as a believer, you really get to, we used to think that it was all the older, folks in church that, oh, to God be the glory. I was like, oh, okay. Like, no, really though. Like, let me be sure to tell you, okay? It was not me that did this, by the grace of God. Okay, God saw me through to do this. God blessed me to, do this on my own, like something like that. Like, you better give it to him. I had been there. I got stuck there because in my carnal mind, my flesh mind, with my mouth, not the, mouth of my spirit. Okay. I would say and be proud to, say like, God, it's for me. And, I did this and I put my name on that and I obtained this. And because I'm speaking from, past experience of how I've been let down and, beat down, busted and disgusted and this, that, and third, and yada, yada, yada. Wasn't me. That's it. Because it's not my life. It's not my life to live. Everything that I have experienced is in order to bless God's people and to ultimately glorify his name. I am very well aware of that. Very well aware of that. So everything, all the, tests and trials that I've experienced is for a reason, because I was born for a purpose. We're not just dwelling amongst this earth. You were not made and are not here and still here by happenstance. God was intentional about making you. Just like he's intentional about loving you and seeing you through. He means what he said. He means, to bless you. He means to anoint you for the work that he's asked for you to do. And this, especially in this time, right? Because we know, we're very clear that there's more work for all of us to do, especially us colored folks. Okay? Got it? You good? Yes? No? Okay. I feel good. I hope you feel good too. This has been another episode of the B Mix right here on BeExposedRadio.com. Until next week, continue to be the mix that you are. Keep in mind that he's intentional about you. I'll see you next week. Peace.